Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will continue for sub-skill of reading. In the process, it's true when reading a novel or listening to a poem are likely to be different from those we use when we are looking for someone's number in a telephone directory or when we are to spoken alert message on a computer. Our use of these different skills will frequently depend on what we are reading or for. Identifying the topic. Good readers and listeners are able to pick up the topic of a written or spoken text very quickly. With the help of their own schemata, they quickly get an idea of what is being talked about. This ability allows them to process the text more effectively as it progresses. Predicting and guessing. Both readers and listeners sometimes guess in order to try and understand what is being written or talked about, especially if they have first identified the topic. Sometimes they look forward trying to predict what is coming. Sometimes they make assumptions or guess the content from the initial glance of half hearing as they try and apply their schemata to what is in front of them. Their subsequent reading and listening helps them to confirm their expectation of what they have predicted or to read just what they thought was going to happen in the light of experience. Reading and for general understanding. Good readers and listeners are able to take in a stream of discourse and understand the gist of it without worrying too much about the details. Reading and listening for such general comprehension means not stopping for every word, not analyzing everything that the reader or speaker includes in the text. A term commonly used in discussion about reading is skimming, which means running your eyes over a text to get a quick idea of the gist of a text. By encouraging students to have a quick look at the text before plugging into it for detail, we help them to get a general understanding of what it is all about. This will help them when and if they read for more specific information. These reading and listening are not lazy options. The reader or listener has made a choice not to attend to every detail, but to use their processing powers to get more of a top-down view of what is going on. Reading and for specific information. In contrast to reading and listening for gist, we frequently go to written and spoken text. Because we want specific details, we may listen to the news, only concentrating when the particular item that interested us comes up. We may quickly look through a film review to find the name of the director or the star. In both cases, we almost ignore all the other information until we come to the specific item we are looking for in discussions about reading skill, frequently referred to as scanning. Reading and for detailed information. Sometimes we read or listen in order to understand everything we are reading in detail. This is usually the case with written instructions or directions, or with the description of scientific procedures. It happens when someone gives us their address and telephone number and write down all the details. If we are in an airport and an announcement starts with "Here is an announcement for passengers on flight AA 671 to Lima," and if that is where we are going, we listen in a concentrated way to everything that is said. Interpreting text. Readers and listeners are able to see beyond the literal meaning of words in a passage using a variety of clues to understand what the reader or speaker is implying or suggesting. Successful interpretation of the king depends to a large extent on shared schemata, as in the example of the lecture who, by saying to a student, "You're in a non-smoking zone," was understood to be asking the student to put her cigarette out. We get a lot more from our reading suggest because, as active participants, we use our schemata together with our knowledge of the world to expand the pictures we have been given and to fill in the gaps which the reader or speaker seems to have left. Our listening decks than the words alone. Problem and solutions. 1. Language. Pre-teaching vocabulary. This is an example. Extensive reading and listening. Most researchers like to make a difference between extensive and intensive reading and listening. Look at the differences. In the next section, the benefits of extensive reading are echoed by the benefits for extensive listening. The more students listen, the more language they acquire and the better they get at listening activities in general. Whether they choose passage from textbooks, recordings on simplified readers, listening material designed for their level, or recording of radio programs, which they are capable of following, the effect will be the same, provided the input is comprehensible. They will gradually acquire more words and greater schematic knowledge, which will in turn resolve many of the language difficulties they started out with.